The episode begins with Hakan being found by President Bear and his friend Lamis in the maze. President Bear's primary goal was to find Hakan and ensure his safety, as their initial aim was to return to their city together with Hakan. However, they had another purpose for coming to the maze's lair. President Bear informs Hakan that the Foolish Monsters exhibition requested their help in defeating the Grand Flame Skeleton, who rules this lair. They initially didn't consider attacking him, but they realized he posed a threat to the hunters if left alone. As the head of the Hunters Guild, it's their duty to eliminate him if possible. This revelation surprises Hakan, as he admires President Bear's leadership qualities. The president continues talking and lets Hakan know that his group consists of exceptional individuals who will explain the rest of the plan. President Bear's assistant, Carrie, steps in and informs Hakan that they indeed wish to defeat the ruler of this maze lair and need his assistance. When Hakan doesn't respond with a reaction, Carrie proceeds to explain the plan directly. The plan involves everyone in the exhibition having a personal goal. They've committed themselves to doing anything necessary to achieve their desires, even if it means being treated as fools or being scorned as monsters exhibition. Hakan inquires about the maze's legend but finds himself unable to reveal anything. Carrie steps in once again and informs him that those who reach the lowest level of the maze or the cavern will have conditions fulfilled, granting them any wish they desire. However, surpassing this level is difficult, and no one knows the conditions required to do so. Hakan asks Lamis about these conditions, and she explains that rumors suggest each wish requires a coin obtained by defeating the ruler of each maze lair. This realization dawns on Hakan that it refers to his eight-legged crocodile familiar, which he has in his possession without realizing its true value. Carrie continues, revealing that the Foolish Monsters exhibition consists of 8 members, including a twin pair. If the twins manage to defeat the ruler, they'll get the same wish. As such, he and vice leader Philomena share a single wish, making a total of 6 wishes they aim to fulfill. They have currently obtained 3 coins, but that's not enough. Hakan then considers that he can use the coin he has with him to achieve any wish he desires. He envisions becoming an exceptionally performing selling god through this coin. Carrie informs him that he heard from Uwalmi that there's a human soul within Hakan. If he can cooperate with them, it's possible that he can become human again. Lamis is stunned by this revelation and asks Hakan if this information is true or false. His friend Uwalmi remembers reading something similar in a book, and Hakan agrees, thanking Carrie and acknowledging their need to reach the lowest level first, otherwise, developing their abilities would be meaningless. They've already overcome several layers of the maze and defeated their rulers. Whenever they hear that these rulers have appeared, they're ready to defeat them. Hakan inquires about the job he saw when he defeated the 8-legged crocodile. Hakan explains that the job is indeed in his possession, and Carrie gets excited. He asks Hakan and Lamis to join them, assuring them that they don't need to do anything specific with them, but they want their help in campaigns whenever they need it. Hakan and Lamis agree, and Lamis asks them to leave her to talk to Hakan privately while they eat together. This situation solves the group's food problem. Hakan contemplates what they told him. He knows he'll return to being human, but now he doesn't want to go back again. During the night, everyone except Shiro sleeps from exhaustion. Shiro stays awake to protect them. In the morning, everyone gets ready to leave. The president informs them that they should look at the new map of the maze. When Hakan sees it, he doesn't consider it accurate and wishes he could share the images from his surveillance camera with them. He resists the urge, but eventually uses the feature, astonishing everyone by showing them an accurate maze map. Hanbaiki tells him that he can show them other things he saw, and he displays more images. The bear is ecstatic and informs him that he will receive a reward from the Hunters Guild later. Philomena then draws what she saw on the paper she has. After entering the maze, they wander through it, and President Bear informs them about a method to defeat the Grand Flame Skeleton ruler. He explains that there's a large trap in front of their path triggered by meeting specific weight conditions. Anything exceeding a certain weight activates the trap, creating a large opening. They had previously attempted to cross with a large group on this layer, and the trap was triggered. Hakan becomes fearful as he might fall into this opening. President Bear tells them they will use this trap to drop the ruler down a hole in case he doesn't trigger it automatically, which would make them activate it manually. Hakan then understands why Carius and Gorth are with them in the maze. They possess more skills than regular guards. The president warns them not to touch the left wall, as they will be revealed when they do so. Then, he discovers a secret spot. Pressing it opens a large underground chamber, housing something incredibly frightening. He cautions them to exercise caution. He asks them to remember the exact location and double the depth of the hole compared to the Grand Flame Skeleton's height. They plan to lure him to the edge and then push him into it. But even if they succeed, it's uncertain whether it will eliminate him. Even if they attack him from above, the flames would dissolve everything. Carius suggests using water magic, adding water to the hole to fill it. Hanbaiki explains that the plan is to extinguish the flames, expose the bone-like structures, inflict damage, and then asks Hakan if he can sell or release a large amount of water. He explains that he can summon water vials, but it would take days to produce enough. Hakan continues to think deeply until he suddenly transforms into a selling god. Everyone is astonished. Hanbaiki approaches him and informs them that certain protruding items can be pressed to trigger reactions, similar to purchasing items. She presents images illustrating their usage. Hakan welcomes them and requests that they insert a metal piece. The deputy places the metal piece, and Hanbaiki grips the hose, releasing a substantial amount of water, which amazes everyone, as it could easily extinguish the flame structures. With this water volume, filling the hole would take days, but the plan would succeed. Hakan thinks to himself that he can change his form in just 2 hours. Then we see all the heroes after 2 days, filling the pit with water. Hakuan transforms daily into a washing machine for an hour, spraying water, and the rest of the time making them throw water bottles. After throwing them, he removes the bottles. The demons of the pigs and the skulls of flames appeared several times, but they managed to defeat them. When the skulls of flames appear, Lamise places Hakuan on her back, and Shuai sprays water, and they overcome them. Then the little bear suggests going down into the pit to see the amount of accumulated water. He asks Lamise to hold the rope firmly, then he goes down and finds the place very cold, like midwinter. They realize that the ground has strong absorption, so water never gathers. Carrie tells them that dropping them into the pit will be effective, but they need to reconsider. Hakuan thinks of overcoming the problem of the Earth's absorption power and transforms into a deity that enables them to drop snow instead of water. Hakuan lowers the snow into the pit, and at night, he returns to his natural form. Lamise asks him if he's thinking about something, surprising Hakuan. He asks her how she knew that, and she tells him that when he thinks, he emits a light. Lamise asks if he wants to be human again. Hakuan talks to himself that usually he wanted that and still does, so he can talk to Lamise. But he realizes that if he returns to being a human, will he have any value? Now he's useful to Lamise and the others, but if he becomes human again, his friends might wish he remained a deity, as he's scarier with greater confidence as a deity. Then he welcomes Lamise, and she tells him she wants to talk to him someday and do different things, even taste her cooking. Hakuan goes back and thinks to himself again that he wants to be human and walk beside her. That would be enough. In the morning, after several days have passed and a lot of snow has accumulated in the pit, it's time to execute the plan. Hulami asks Hakuan about the plan's success, as it said that the flame structure's heat evaporates water quickly. Will the snow be enough? Suddenly, the great flame structure appears above them. It was incredibly large in size, leaving everyone astonished and afraid of this giant creature. As it descended towards them, the entire place trembled. At that moment, the leader, young Meikyuu, commanded to press the magical button, causing the giant door to open. Indeed, the door opened, and the colossal skeletal structure fell into the large pit. Hulami then warned them all to be cautious as a lot of steam would emerge. However, contrary to her expectations, the deity of matters did the opposite. Hulami was amazed because the skeletal structure was supposed to evaporate due to water. So, what was happening below? When Meikyuu looked down, he informed them that the flame of the skeletal structure had completely gone out. At that point, Carrie Oil was bewildered by this turn of events. The fire had extinguished, and nothing was evaporating. Then he told them to start throwing immediately. But Hakuan spoke to himself. He knew the reason behind this lack of evaporation. What he had thrown into the pit wasn't just pure snow, it was dry ice. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide. When the colossal flame structure fell, the pit became filled with carbon dioxide. As fire can't ignite without oxygen, the skeletal structure went out, and carbon dioxide, being heavier than oxygen, gathered at the bottom. Then Carol asked Meikyuu about the situation. Meikyuu informed her that the skeletal structure had suffered some damage from the stones, but it hadn't died yet. He believed they needed to hit it with great force. Everyone started thinking about what this enormous force could be. They needed something extremely heavy and, at the same time, Phenemena's idea came to mind. She suggested they jump down and attack it while the flames were out. They could easily win. As they decided on that, signs of tension appeared on Hakuan. It was as if he wanted to tell them that the place below was filled with carbon dioxide. If they descended, they would struggle to breathe, and oxygen would be cut off completely. They would die instantly from carbon dioxide poisoning and lack of oxygen. However, Lamies intervened, objecting to such a dangerous plan. They couldn't risk Hak being in danger. Hilumi also told them that they couldn't guarantee the plan's success. She opposed it too. Then Mina suggested that they jump down and attack from below. If the flames had extinguished, they could easily win. As they agreed, tension marked Hakuan's demeanor. It was as if he wanted to tell them that the place below was filled with carbon dioxide. Descending would lead to breathing difficulties, complete oxygen depletion, and immediate death from carbon dioxide poisoning. The group continued to deliberate. Suddenly, they noticed that the colossal flame structure is attempting to climb out of the opening. Carry Oil tells them that they cannot miss this opportunity and asks them to prepare for the attack. However, Hakuan is very concerned because there is no use in that. The situation is dire. He thinks of a way to stop them. Indeed, he employs a diversionary tactic to halt them. Namies asks him to stop these tactics, and these divergent methods. Then, she gets angry and strikes him, sending him flying high into the air. This is what he wanted. He then transforms into a powerful iron mass and descends upon the creature, annihilating it instantly. Hakuan is pleased because he managed to eliminate it, and now everything is alright. Lamies calls out to him, telling him that he is very reckless. He retorts, asking her if she doesn't realize that danger awaits and suggests waiting. He transforms into an oxygen device to convey that there's no oxygen in the area. Then, he transforms into a vacuum cleaner and sucks up the metal coin that came from the creature, adding it to his list of possessions. He cleverly uses the idea of attaching balloons to himself, creating a magical wall around him, and ascends like a balloon, astonishing everyone with this brilliant notion. The leader commands Meikyuu to close the opening. Following that, Hakuan descends and Lamies approaches to reassure him. She was extremely worried about him and expresses her anger for his risking himself. Hilumi advises her to let the matter be, as criticizing him too much might upset Hakuan. Lamies informs her that she will stop doing that and advises Hakuan not to engage in such recklessness again. In his mind, Hakuan thinks, I didn't respond to her, and I would have done the same thing again if I could save everyone, but I don't want to lie to Lamies. She approaches him with a smile mixed with satisfaction. Then Carry Oil asks Hakuan if the ruler's coin fell into the pit. Hakuan confirms and retrieves it. But suddenly, Hilumi takes it from him instead. She says, do you want me to take it for you, as if it's a given? However, Hakuan, who defeated the colossal flame structure, knows that he doesn't possess that coin. So, he apologizes to Carry Oil for the misunderstanding. Carry Oil acknowledges that they succeeded thanks to Hakuan's intervention and states that Hakuan has rightfully earned ownership of the coin. Carry Oil offers to buy the coin from Hakuan for 100 gold coins. Hakuan is astonished and pleased with this substantial amount. He calculates that if he converts them to points, they would become 100,000 points. The bear leader then informs them that this is the circulating value of the ruler's coin. Hilumi asks Carry Oil about what he plans to do with this matter. Carry Oil, in his mind, thinks it's not a problem at all, in fact, it's more than enough. He already possesses a ruler's coin from before, so he doesn't need more. He tells them that it's a deal and says, "Hello," indicating his agreement. Carry Oil remarks that he knew Hakuan would agree and is pleased that the negotiation was quick. Carry Oil takes the coin and tells Hakuan that he will give him the coins later. The bear leader expresses his gratitude to them for their excellent performance in the battle. He suggests they return to their homes. Hakuan mentions that they need to go back to the lair of the clear flowing lake now. It seems that all he saw of the maze lair was the view from above. These main roads might be the extent of his journey here, and he might not come back again. And with that, this episode concludes. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.